Sommerfeld's theory of atom. In hydrogen spectra, we find some lines in different groups. There are so many groups here. This we call it as a hydrogen spectra. When this hydrogen spectra was recorded with a powerful and magnifying spectroscope, it was found that each one of these lines are found to be a group of lines. For example, here this line is found to be a group of lines, small group of lines. And this line is also found to be another group of lines. And this line is also found to be some other group, like that. Each one of these lines in the spectra were found to be a group of lines. Then this spectra is called as fine lines of the spectra. Bohr failed to explain why these fine lines are forming. That means a photons with slight energy difference were also observed. So how those small energy differences were arised was unable to explain by Bohr. Actually, Bohr is considered each orbit as one orbit. But later on, these fine lines of the spectra shows us that each orbit will have some sub-energy levels. That means in each main energy level, there are some sub-energy levels. Those sub-energy levels were explained by this Sommerfeld's theory. So to explain this, Sommerfeld proposes that the electrons will revolve around the nucleus in an elliptical orbit, but not a circular orbit. Electrons will revolve around the nucleus in an elliptical orbit, but not in a circular orbit as proposed by. To explain the fine lines of the spectra, Sommerfeld proposed this theory. According to Sommerfeld, electrons revolve around the nucleus in an elliptical orbit, but not in a circular orbit as proposed by Niels Bohr. When an electron is moving in an elliptical orbit, this elliptical orbit will have two foci. So the positively charged nucleus will present in any one of these two foci, either here or here. Now the point is, electrons is always revolve in elliptical orbit? Or they never revolve in a circular orbit? No. According to Sommerfeld, most of the time, in most of the cases, electrons are revolve in a elliptical path. They can revolve in circular path also, but circular path is a special case. And Sommerfeld is considered Bohr's theory. He will not rule out the Bohr's theory. He is not going to rule out the Bohr's theory. He proposed this theory as an extension to Bohr's theory. Retaining the idea of Bohr, he is extending Bohr's theory. So, if Bohr's theory is designated as N and Sommerfeld's theory is designated as K, these two are related as N by K is equal length of long axis by length of short axis. So this is the length of long axis and this is short axis. If length of long axis is equal to length of short axis, then n by k is equal to 1 or n is equal to k. What is this n and what is this k? They are simply quantum numbers. Now Sommerfeld is explaining that if nucleus is present here and electron is here, when electron is revolving in this elliptical orbit, so this is the different positions of same electron. Don't be confused that much number of electrons are present here. Same electron in different positions we are designated, showing. So when electron is revolving like this, every moment the position of electron is changing. Every moment the position of electron is changing because the electrons will revolve around the nucleus with higher velocities. So every moment the position is changing. And the distance from the nucleus is also changing. Because if it is the radius, see, the radius is different for each position. Every moment the position of electron is changing, distance from the nucleus is changing, direction is also changing. So this is the direction here. Every moment direction is changing, distance is changing. When distance is changing, the nuclear attraction will also changes. When nuclear attraction changes, velocity also changes. Since so many factors are changing in every moment, it was difficult task for us to designate an electron with a single quantum number. That's why more than one quantum number were proposed or required to designate an electron in an atom. If Bohr's quantum value is small n and this Sommerfeld's quantum number is small k, these two are related with this expression, that is n by k is equal length of long axis by length of short axis. When length of long axis equals to length of short axis, then the orbit is in circular path. So electrons will revolve in circular path also, but it is a special case. Electron will revolve in the circular path only when n value equal to k value. Then only the orbit is in circular path. In the remaining cases, the orbit will be in elliptical path. For example, in first energy level, we have only one energy level, sub-energy level in the first energy level. So for this, n is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1. Even according to Sommerfeld, there are some sub-energy levels. The number of sub-energy levels in each main energy level will equal to its n value. First energy level, n is equal to 1. Second main energy level, n is equal to 2. Third energy level, n is equal to 3. Fourth energy level, n is equal to 4. So in first energy level, you have only one sub-energy level. In second energy level, you have two sub-energy levels. In third energy level, you have three sub-energy levels. In fourth energy level, you have four sub-energy levels, and so on. That means the number of sub-energy levels in each main energy level will equal to the n value of that energy level. Since first energy level n value is 1, it has only one sub-energy level and its k value is 1. In second energy level, n is equal to 2. So it has two sub-energy levels. For one sub-energy level, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 2. But here, k is equal to 1, and for this, k is equal to 2. In first energy level, only one sub-energy level is there. Its k value is 1. For that sub-energy level, n is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1. In second energy level, you have two sub-energy levels. For those two sub-energy levels, n value is same because it is second energy level. N is equal to 2, n is equal to 2. But k values are different for these two sub-energy levels. For this sub-energy level, which is elliptical, k is equal to 1, and the sub-energy level which is circular, for that k is equal to 2. That means orbital is circular, only n value will equal to k value. When n is equal to k, then only the orbit is in circular path. In third energy level, you have three sub-energy levels. For all these three sub-energy levels, n is equal to 3. But for k values, for this orbit is k is equal to 1, for this it is k is equal to 2, for this is equal to k is equal to 3. That means these three sub-energy levels, n value is 3 because they are in third main energy level. But their k values are different. That is k is equal to 1, k is equal to 2, k is equal to 3. Similarly, in fourth orbit, you have four sub-energy levels. And those values are also like this. For fourth energy level, we have four sub-energy levels. So, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 4. For this, k is equal to 1, for this, k is equal to 2, for this, k is equal to 3, for this, k is equal to 4. Look here, when n is equal to 4 and k is equal to 4, that means n value will equal to k value, then the orbit or the sub-energy level is in circular path. The remaining are in elliptical path. Similarly, the third energy level, we have three sub-energy levels. When n value is 3 and k value is 3, then the orbit is circular. In the remaining cases, they are elliptical. Here, when n is equal to 2, k will have two values. K is equal to 1, k is equal to 2. For a given orbit, if n value equals to k value, then that orbit is circular. That means circular is a special case. For k is equal to 1 is circular in first energy level only. K is equal to 1 is elliptical in second energy level. K is equal to 1 is elliptical in third energy level. K is equal to 1 is elliptical in fourth, fifth, so on. The sub-energy level with k is equal to 1 is circular only in first energy level. In all the remaining energy levels, it is elliptical. K is equal to 2 is circular only in second energy level. In all the remaining energy levels, it is elliptical. K is equal to 3 is circular, is in circular path only in third energy level. In all the remaining energy levels, it is elliptical. K is equal to 4 is circular path in fourth energy level, and remaining cases it seems to be in elliptical. But later experiment shows that k value is not starting from 1, it is starting from 0. Now the k value was replaced by L value. So k is equal to 1 is nothing but L is equal to 0, then it is designated as small s. Wherever k is equal to 1, it is L is equal to 0 now, it is small l. So L is equal to 0, yes. L is equal to 0, yes. L is equal to 0 is yes. Similarly, K is equal to 2 is L is equal to 1. This is P. P. And K is equal to 3 is L is equal to 2. This is D. K is equal to 3, L is equal to, K is equal to 4 is L is equal to 3. This is F. See here, L is equal to 0 is S sub-energy level. It was present in all energy levels. L is equal to 0 is present in first energy level, second energy level, third energy level, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, and so on. The electrons in S sub-energy level are in circular path only in first energy level. In all the other energy levels, they are in elliptical path. L is equal to 1 is P sub-energy level. It starts from second energy level. In second energy level, the electrons in P sub-energy level are in circular path. In all the remaining orbits, they are in elliptical path. The D sub-energy level starts from third energy level. The electrons in D sub-energy level are in circular path. In third energy level, in fourth, fifth, sixth, so on, they are in elliptical path. F sub-energy level starts from fourth energy level. The electrons in F sub-energy level are in circular path only in fourth orbit. Fifth, sixth, seventh, and so on, they are in elliptical path. So, if electron transition takes place in between these orbitals, those fine lines are formed. So, to explain the fine lines of the spectra, this Sommerfeld's theory was proposed. Quantum numbers. We know that in an atom, every moment of electron is changing. Its distance from the nucleus is changing. Its direction is changing. Velocity is changing. So since so many factors for an electron is changing time to time, it becomes a difficult task for us to explain an electron in an atom with a single quantum number. You may get confused with the term quantum number. To make it easy to understand, I'll compare these quantum numbers with address of a person. For example, if we are taking a person, Raju, K. Raju, MSc, house number 12-21-32. Labbipet, Vijayawada, Krishna district, Andhra Pradesh, India. This is a typical address of a person. Suppose if you want to give any information to this particular person anywhere in the globe, just you will write his address like this. With the help of this address, the letter that was posted, not only in India, wherever in the globe you have posted a letter with this address, this particular person will receive this letter. Because millions of people or billions of people are there in this earth. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines, these 7 lines is separating this particular person from entire world. This we call it as his address. So, if you posted this letter out of India, this name India separate the entire world other than India. That means this person is not belonging to other countries other than India. That means he belongs to India. Then immediately the sorting persons will kept this letter in Indian box. When it reaches to India, whether it is Delhi or Calcutta or Bombay or Madras, there the people, by seeing this letter, AP, Andhra Pradesh, they will separate from entire India, and they kept this letter in Andhra Pradesh box. When it reaches to Andhra Pradesh, there are so many districts. This Krishna district is separated from other districts. So it will goes into the Krishna district bag. Then when it reaches to Krishna district, this name Vijayawada, then from entire district, this town is separated from it. When it reaches to that particular town, this Labbipet is a street in that town, will separate that street from the rest of the town. So it reaches to that point. Then in that street, they will go to this address. Then it reaches to this particular person. This means these 7 lines is identifying a particular person from entire world, or separating the particular person from entire world. So this we call it as an address. Just like our address, these quantum numbers will give a significance to a particular electron. With the help of 4 quantum numbers, you can identify a particular electron, whether it is 21st electron, 22nd electron, 23rd electron, 25th electron, 35th electron, 90th electron, and so on. Each electron in an atom will have a specific address. That address is nothing but these quantum numbers. Just like a person is having an address, the quantum numbers are said to be an address to an electron in an atom. Quantum numbers are said to be an address of an electron in an atom. That means, to identify an electron in an atom, we require 4 quantum numbers. Let us discuss these 4 quantum numbers one by one. The first quantum number, 1 is principal quantum number. Number 2, azimuthal quantum number. Number 3, magnetic quantum number. Number 4, spin quantum number. So these are the 4 quantum numbers. Each and every electron will in an atom will have all these 4 quantum numbers. With the help of these quantum numbers, we can identify, we can designate an electron in an atom. Principal quantum number, it is denoted with small n. Azimuthal quantum number, it was denoted with small l. Magnetic quantum number, it is denoted with small m. And spin quantum number, it is denoted with ms or small s. These are the 4 quantum numbers that were required to designate an electron in an atom. Let us discuss all these 4 quantum numbers one by one. This principal quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr. This principal quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr. It is denoted with small n. Principal quantum number is denoted with small n. And the values of these quantum numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. The values of this principal quantum number are 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Or sometimes they may be represented as K1, capital L2, M, N, so on, with capital letters K, L, M, N. This was proposed by Niels Bohr to explain the hydrogen spectra. Principal quantum number was proposed to explain hydrogen spectra. This quantum number will help us to calculate the energy of an electron in a given n value. This n is equal to 1 means first energy level. N is equal to 2 means second energy level. N is equal to 3 means third energy level. N is equal to 4 means fourth energy level. With the help of this n value, we can calculate or assume the energy of an electron in an atom. And with the help of this quantum number, we can calculate the radius of the orbit also. If you know the n value, you can calculate the radius of the orbit. And if you know the n value, we can estimate the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in a given main energy level. That means the number of electrons that can be accommodated in any main energy level will be equal to its 2n square. For example, first energy level n is equal to 1. It can accommodate 2 into 1 square, that is equal to 2 electrons. Second energy level n is equal to 2. It can accommodate 2 into 2 square, that is equal to 8 electrons. Third energy level n is equal to 3. 2 into 3 square, that is equal to 18. N is equal to 4. It can accommodate 2 into 4 square, that is equal to 32. So these are the number of electrons that were accommodated, that can be accommodated in a given main energy level. So, principal quantum number will give us the information regarding the main energy level in which the electron is present. Principal quantum number will explains us or gives us the information regarding the main energy level in which the electron is present. With the help of this quantum number, we can calculate the energy of an electron. And we can calculate the radius of the orbit or the distance from the nucleus to that electron. This principal quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr to explain the hydrogen spectra. So, once again, recollect the significance of this principal quantum number. Principal quantum number. This principal quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr to explain the hydrogen spectra. Principal quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr to explain the hydrogen spectra. This principal quantum number is denoted with small n. The values of this quantum number are from 1, 2, 3, 4, so on from the nucleus side. Or they can also designated as capital K, capital L, capital M, capital N, and so on from the nucleus side. With the help of this quantum number, you can assume or estimate the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in a given main energy level. This quantum number n is nothing but the main energy level in which the electron is present, or to which main energy level this electron belongs. So n value gives us the information regarding the main energy of an electron. Main energy of an electron, in which main energy level this electron belongs. So, the number of electrons that can be accommodated in a given main energy level will be equal to 2n square. That means first energy level n value is 1. So, it can accommodate 2 into 1 square, that is equal to 2 electrons. Second energy level n value is 2. So, it can accommodate 2 into n square, that is 2 into 2 square, 8 electrons. Third energy level n value is 3. So, it can accommodate 2 into n square, that is equal to 18 electrons. Fourth energy level n value is 4. So, it can accommodate 2 into 4 square, that is equal to 32 electrons. So, with the help of this principal quantum number, you can estimate to which main energy level that electron belongs, and you can calculate the energy of the electron, and you can calculate the radius of the electron, that orbit, or the distance of that electron from the nucleus. And this quantum number was proposed by Niels Bohr to explain the hydrogen spectra. This is regarding principal quantum number. Let us discuss the second quantum number, that is azimuthal quantum number.